Mr. Scales here, back again, freaking another video, freaking straightforward, like as usual as well, them freaking raw as heck though. About, yeah, I know I already made this freaking video to be honest, but now, if you actually see this thing there, it's actually the freaking like the pages for like, on different days. Yes, obviously there, but in a sense there was actually like time that I basically create videos itself there in basically in the same day, but basically like basically in the recording it's just the same to be honest, but we just didn't name it yet. I'll put a name to it, upload to YouTube. But this one's I really want to say about the most funniest thing ever there. Psychology of freaking course though. Yeah, I said I talk about psychology in the channel, yeah. But for some reason there as well there, in this one there, I kinda like would hesitate to be honest, dude. So in a nutshell there, and psychology in itself is just probably a freaking psyop to be honest, dude. Or in a nutshell, they're freaking like psychological operation as in a context itself. They just freaking like to demerit and make it freaking like people that make people have deficit itself there. Make people itself there to basically demerit and just lower itself there the right brain to be honest there, and just much more like think freaking on the left brain to be honest, dude. Like, oh my gosh, when you're freaking basically and you're basically having like intrusive thoughts or something there, you must logicalize, you must have logic in it there. You will freaking solve it, and then this freaking like demons freaking like doing that thing, doing that thing. It's like no freaking psychologist except probably freaking Jung there, except probably freaking Jung then knows at least no, or at least can meddle or tamper with that thing. 90% of psychology there is just basically in a nutshell there, it's kind of like brain rot. It's just basically like brain rot to be honest. They have like a freaking like a lot of effects itself there that doesn't say freaking much to be honest. They're just worthless information, reductionist freaking like harmonic crop to be honest. Yes, there are some freaking like in psychology is a really like valuable lesson there. But to be honest there, if you think about the mental health which is connected to freaking psychology, of course, there you see that freaking basically in a nutshell there in mental health it became like I don't know for some weird reason there. Mental health kind of works, but to be honest, there, when you have a freaking like when a person like have a freaking like about a stuff there like a epiphany or something about stuff or epiphany or just like spiritual, like a spiritual stuff there, and people said it in freaking like in psychology is freaking spiritual psychosis, dude. The spiritual psychosis, dude. Basically in a nutshell they're like freaking in a nutshell there you channel like higher energy itself there, or basically higher dimensional energies there, and just freaking stuff to be honest to receiving like freaking like receiving get receiving this is basically the basically like receiving messages itself, like the universe or something. The universe itself, the most high there is freaking like receiving that stuff there. And freaking like you're freaking like psychologist, not psychologist, like psychologist, dude. I say it, oh my gosh, you're absolutely like, oh, that's just like freaking like hallucination, brain rot. It's like hallucination, some freaking stuff there that freaking like science cannot explain there. Science cannot explain there. Or in a nutshell there, about how freaking like left brain thinking like freaking like warps the freaking view of reality itself, that everything like becomes unironically like this is this, or basically like this is this, or become like obviously reductionist stuff there, and absolutely like inhibit the true experience of reality in itself there without actually logic, facts over feelings, dude. Like facts over feelings, dude. Not only just inhibit itself there, the others not only inhibits the magical part of the reality as well there, and also a magical part of the reality itself there. When in integration there with true psychology itself there, actually like spiritual psychology itself there, spiritual psychology, or one that basically integrates that stuff in itself there, you will see a really ridiculously holistic view of reality. A psychology itself there informs the fucking unconscious there, or just basically the cognition of not just an individual but everything itself there, as basically in a nutshell, like watching our world, to be honest there. And I remember in this video he said there about the basically like about anxiety itself and such there, that all the things that basically in the not in the inside but the external is just basically in the inside too as well. And what psychology like proposes in that stuff there, what psychology like really proposes that, oh yeah, another freaking ideas in a nutshell, another freaking idea itself there, or basically you have the id and you have the ego and the super ego there, and you have the freaking super ego itself that is freaking worthless and id there. To be honest there, another freaking framework itself there, in a nutshell, frameworks in a nutshell there, I will talk about it there. But basically believing in frameworks itself there is just basically the mind itself there will freaking like adheres to that, that literally there, not literally but literally too. In a nutshell, if you have a framework which is believing in a framework, which is freaking like believing in a freaking demons, we will have that stuff there, because freaking like belief reflects reality. So in a nutshell, they believe in ego, superhero, the Freudian crap there. Why not freaking like, why not an Freudian crap there is a trap too, because we believe in freaking like an ego, super ego there, such there though. Yeah, it just basically an unconscious, it's in unconscious it just made it, or just in the mind it just made it like conscious there, which is awesome. But there are some things itself that in the mind that is just much better not to be named, to be honest, because the mind has a tendency to freaking worsen it, to be honest. The mind has a tendency to be freaking worsen it, to be honest there. So yeah, like 90% of freaking like 90% there of freaking society, not 90% of society is freaking like psychology. I remember unironically itself there. And basically I freaking like in a school, I mean freaking like BSV like psychology, or about freaking like psychology there, and I look like all the stuff of the psychology, I just cannot freaking withstand it, to be honest, dude. Not in a sense that I not in a sense that freaking like not in a sense that I'm freaking like not open about it, but in a sense that basically if the mind itself that take that information itself there, and take that information and just make it just basically like a part of its own there, or basically not really part of its own, but in a nutshell there, it will make it as kind of like you know, literal there, but in a subtle sense, is amazing, the most dangerous part there. That you have a freaking worm itself there inside your head there. You have worm inside, and not literally, of course, but basically you have a worm. It's maybe freaking like a metaphorical worm inside your head there. And for some reason, then this freaking worm that lays freaking eggs itself there. You don't even freaking know that. You don't even know it's just freaking like laying freaking garbage to you, to be honest, dude. And then in just some time itself there, you know, it's just basically you got brain, your freaking brain has your brain freaking rotted, to be honest, dude. That's a basic psychology to me, to be honest, dude. Like psychology itself in a nutshell, there's a thing itself there, like the sages basically, and the sages itself in Hinduism there, or just basically like non-labeling or non-attachment. Because if the mind itself there has knowledge on freaking thing itself there, also has a knowledge for some freaking thing there, it will literally hypen it there, and even freaking worse then, you feed it like so much, you feed it so much energy there, emotionally and such there, it will become freaking true there. It will become not it will become true, but it will become exact. I said it will become like exact actually, or you know, you know, basically in a nutshell there. And also like don't believe also in that stuff too as well there, and like precept as well there, which is yeah, there's believing and but not believing. believing and not believing to as well. But in a sense there, like see how the mind like sees that thing, to be honest. So yeah, kind of like this is a much better perspective there, much better perspective there, to be not to be alert but not alert, to be alert but not alert. So yeah, pretty much that. So yeah, in a sense, in a sense, there even seems like a things, even seems in this freaking like science or some stuff there is just basically seems like it sounds like true or something there, but in a sense it just scratch the surface to be honest there, and even like an inhibitor itself there, or just basic inhibitor is just a blockage itself there, or just basically a limitation. That's pretty much it. Psychology also as well, yes, I said this earlier, but it really like limits the capacity of people itself there. It literally limits the capacity of people to actually use the freaking capacity of mind fully there. Just investing to the audio side, is investing just the logic alone there, like as a freaking like logic itself there, or thinking it does something itself there, that oh my gosh, that you must plan for your freaking like coping mechanism something there, but actually you just give it more energy, and just give it more energy. It's so much better to freaking like let it go, to be honest, dude, about the freaking crap, or just not let it go, just don't freaking care, to be honest, dude. So yeah, let the freaking creator of that freaking guilt you at the first place like fix it, to be honest. That's pretty much it. So yeah, and also as well, uh, to be honest there, guys, if you actually get to like a therapist, to be honest, or something, I actually have a therapist for me there, or like parents have a freaking like therapist for me, to be honest there, and absolutely all his stuff decides that all the stuff that he said like make it freaking worse, to be honest, dude. Make it worse there, the labels and such, the labels and such. This is the most of the worst thing itself there, because the subconscious, if base the subconscious, even though you literally don't know it there, the subconscious or the freaking minds know what it is there. That's the biggest issue there about it there. When people unironically, when actually people thinks about like trauma triggers, if you know that thing itself there, and I believe before that it is true, but actually like in kenosis there, or just freaking throwing away crap, it does not true as well. Actually, I don't have that thing. So yeah, and even intrusive, not intrusive thought, but basically like negative thoughts at all overall. Like basically that's it. Basically, yeah, there's basically like psychic attack, but in a sense, they are separate. They are separate itself there to like freaking like the stuff there about like freaking like demons and freaking like archonic, like dark forces. Basically, that's pretty much it. This scales out.